Crenshaw, and we are live from the 704 once again for episode 129 of the 815 exchange. Well. Should be another episode that's not too long, but nonetheless, we still have plenty to talk about. Of course, UFC 283, the first major UFC event of the year, happened. And of course, we have to talk about the NFL Divisional Round, which I'm sure a lot of you are hotly anticipating, even though I will greatly disappoint you in my reaction to that, series of events, because, I saw it coming. But, yeah, things are starting to heat up. Things are starting to, adjust. We're really starting to get into the year as we approach the end of January. I know certainly last week was very, very busy for me. All right, it was very hectic. It was very chaotic. I didn't get to do everything that I planned to do last week, but I did start to find that tempo, start to find that balance as we kind of get to more and more of this year. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe if you guys are enjoying the content. And as always, everything you're looking for can be found in the description, whether that's my social medias, if you want to hear about my, life outside of this camera, or if you're looking for timestamps and you want to skip ahead to that NFL segment, you want to hear me talk about Mansion Musik and Trippie Redd's album, or what I've been watching lately, whatever it is, you want to skip to the Roundup and hear about basketball, whatever it is, everything you're looking for can be found in the description. But, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you know what it is. We usually start with combat sports. I'm going to just call it UFC today because it's all recovering. But yes, all right, UFC 283, first major event, headlined by the light heavyweight matchup of Glover Teixeira and Jamal Hill. Jamal Hill making the big jump from 7th in the UFC rankings to a title shot. Light heavyweight, of course, is in a little bit of a period of chaos as Jiri, who was supposed to be champion, got injured, so the fight between him and John kind of got thrown out. So this is the matchup we ended up with. In Brazil, by the way, this event was, which will be very important because there was a selection of some of the best Brazilian fighters we got to offer in the UFC, at least some of the most popular, and they all have varying results. Varying results. But first off, like I said, Glover Teixeira, Jamal Hill. I didn't do predictions, but you know what? I thought this would have been a pretty tight fight. Probably would have given it to Glover, but oh my goodness, Jamal Hill pieced Glover Teixeira up. This fight, I'm going to be honest with you, it could have been stopped before the 5th round. This round, this could have been stopped. Could have been stopped. And there would have been no argument for me. Jamal Hill went out in the biggest fight of his career, of his life, and showed out. He went up and against a future UFC Hall of Famer, and just destroyed it. It wasn't close. It was not. This fight was not close. Jamal Hill went out and fought like he had something to prove, and he had something to prove. And he is your new UFC light heavyweight champion of the world, and that turns this division on its head once again. A division that seems to be constantly being turned on its head. I think it's had the most new champions since, past 3 years. I think light heavyweights had the most new champions. So, yeah, insanity. Opens up a whole new window of opportunity. Glover retired after the fight. He's going to, just be a coach. And Coach Potan Alex Pereira, the current middleweight champion of the world, after beating Israel Adesanya for a 3rd time. But yeah, that's the direction he wanted to go. I felt it was kind of time. Glover looks old. All right, he looks old. He finally looked his age in this fight. But yeah, Jamal, very, very impressive win. Respect. All right, respect is due. He's the first man from the Contender Series to win a championship. But yeah, very, very, very interesting where his reign goes. Of course, what really should have been the headliner, in my opinion, is Deiveson Figueiredo versus Brandon Moreno 4. All right, and this fight was highly anticipated. It is the only time in UFC history we've had fighters fight 4 times. We had a draw, we had Moreno win, and then we had a Figueiredo win, and here we are at the 4th. So what would happen next? And some of the beauty of having 2 men fight each other so many times is seeing the adjustments. They know each other so well. So what are the little things that they do? What changes do they make to try to get the advantage this time? What part of their skill set do they use to their advantage? In this fight, Brandon Moreno simply, one of these, from the simplest way I can put it, the thing that gave him his advantage in this fight was his speed. He was just faster than Figgy. And he has underrated power, and he put it on him. I'm not going to say he clean swept him going into what would have been the 4th round. But after round 3, no mas from the doctor. Because, the round before, Moreno landed a heavy shot with his left on his eye. And it instantly closed Figgy's eye. Doctor said, no mas, you're done. And that is how the quadrilogy ends. Decisive victory for Moreno. Say what you want about it being a doctor stoppage, but at the end of the day, he was still winning the fight. Was still probably going to win the fight, though anything can happen in MMA. But still, Moreno was just looking like the better fighter, and I think he showed that he was the better fighter in the rivalry. You know, nothing against Davidson Figuredo. He'll probably end up in the UFC Hall of Fame as well. But Brandon Moreno showed he is the best 135ers or 125 around. He's the guy. You know, he is the guy. And yeah, just, shout out to the baby assassin. He's a great guy, great man, very worthy champion. And yeah, great ending to one of the best rivalries we've had in the past couple years. So yeah, shout out to Moreno, shout out to Figgy, but shout out to Moreno, of course, because he's the champ. Gilbert Burns subs Neil Magny. I might not even drop a picture for this one, but I just felt like it needed its own segment. Alright, I don't know why this fight got made, personally. Besides the fact that nobody wants to fight Gilbert, it seems, and Neil Magny will fight anybody. However, this was not a winnable fight for Neil Magny. But you know what? I'm glad he got to fight in Brazil. And I'm glad one of the Brazilian headliners, besides somebody I'll talk about when I round up the this event, got a win. Because otherwise, it wasn't too hard for him. As you've seen from the first 2, or at least the last 2 fights, the main event, the co-main event, wasn't too great. But yeah, Burns makes quick work of Magny. No real surprise, he subs him. Gabe, the Bonfim brothers are different. They're different. Hop on the new hype train. Okay, it's the Bonfim brothers. All right, we had Gabe Bonfim sub Laziz, and I think round 1, very impressive win. Then his brother had what, in my opinion, knockout of the night in what was a very, very violent card. Okay, this was a very violent card. There was KOs, there was subs. Went through the card pretty fast on the main card as well. But yeah, Baby Bonfim, the knee he hit Terrence McKinney with, it looked like he killed him. All right, it looked like he caught a body, fatality. The sound it made when his knee entered McKinney's skull was crazy. Crazy. Filthy knee. He dominated the first round. He knees him, KOs him in the second. Just, yeah. Bonfim brothers, we will be watching your career with great interest. Because what a debut. And to round up the rest of this card, yeah, Glover Teixeira wasn't the only old Brazilian MMA legend to retire. Shogun Rua got sparked, and then he also retired. On the main card, Jess Andrade finally held it down for the Brazilians and got their what felt like their first win besides the both teams on this card. Yeah, she UD's Lauren Murphy. No surprise there. Lauren Murphy is slow as dirt. Jess Andrade has hands, and that's how that fight went because Lauren Murphy's face got rearranged. And Johnny Walker KOs Paul Craig in one of the... Listen, I don't know if I've ever seen a man get KO'd while holding another man's leg. But you know what? It happened. Of course, what happened with Johnny Walker and Paul Craig. We'll see if Walker can turn this back on. Of course, he used to be the main hype train in the UFC. But yeah, that cooled down. But we'll see what happens. UFC 283, good way to start the year. Brazilian crowd probably could have been better in terms of their treatment towards some of the fighters, namely Brandon Moreno. But yeah, nonetheless, I don't think Moreno really cares. He got the title. That's all that matters. Now, like I said, this is not going to be too long. It's not going to be too long. We don't even have college football, tragically. I know. Last week was the last college football segment for a very long time. So we're going straight to entertainment. All right, we are going straight to entertainment. And it's really just music this week. All right, TV, I'm watching The Last Kingdom on the last season. It's incredible. My Netflix list is ridiculous right now. All right, it is stacked. I have too many things. That 90s show just came out. I still haven't seen The Last Chance U basketball last season. It's just there's too much. I have too much to watch. All right, but anyways, Last Kingdom has been that thing. I need to see if my HBO Max so I can finish Entourage. See that subscription's back. But yeah, music. J. Cole dropped on a J. Cole type beat. He found on YouTube. Procrastination. It was actually good. I'm not gonna lie. It was good. He dropped it on YouTube. It was good. It was good. J. Cole gave us by. You know how it goes. All right. It's Cole. Cole World, Dreamville. Y'all know how it goes. But yeah, procrastination. It was good. It was good. That's funny that he found a J. Cole type beat and was just like, yeah, I can rock with this, and just made a song. So yeah, that was cool. A$AP Rocky finally dropped Same Problems. I feel like I've heard for the past month that this was dropping. It finally dropped. It was pretty good. It was pretty good. I liked it better than his last few singles, I feel. So it's going to be interesting. I believe the album's also going to be called Same Problems. This sounded like an intro, and if it's the intro, then like I said, it's pretty good. I was pretty impressed. But yeah, we'll see if Rocky, with the help of his beloved baby mama Rihanna, has the Midas touch. And yeah, we'll see if Rocky can turn back the clock and see if he's still got it. But yeah, we will see what happens with the Same Problems. Good little intro, good little sampler. Trippie Redd dropped Mansion Music, and he had the entire rap industry on this album. Everybody. And it was 25 songs long, which is egregious, okay? 25 songs is way too long for an album. It's too long, all right? It's too long for me. But we managed to listen to it all in one sampling size. However, it was so long that we're going to need a second listen, and I have not gotten to that second listen, so I'm not going to give you a rating. However, I will say that some of the mixing, specifically on Travis Scott and Lil Baby's verses in this, were garbage. All right, they were garbage. The Travis verse was actually good, but the mixing was garbage. It just sounded like a completely different song. So yeah, I don't know what happened with the engineer, but he failed at some of his job on some of this. Nightcrawler feat Juice. Juice came back. I don't know how long he's had that verse in the vault, but my goodness, what a verse to have in the vault, because Juice sounded fantastic with that. Honestly, it might have been my standout song. Yeah, Nightcrawler. So yeah, that was probably my favorite song off my first listen. Yeah, we'll see. Still the majority of the album was good. It wasn't like a garbage album. It's just it was so long that I'm definitely going to be going through and making some revisions on what is going to stay in the playlist and what is not going to be in the playlist. So, yeah. But y'all can let me know if y'all listen to it, what y'all thought about it. But yeah, Mansion Music, pretty good. Trippie's back. And trying to think, anything else? Oh, yeah, Drake at the Apollo. And on top of that, apparently he might be going on tour, with 21 Savage Stadium Tour. I saw Charlotte in the proposed dates, and I am sick. Alright? I need y'all to like, share, and subscribe so I don't have to declare bankruptcy with Truist, okay? On my bank account. I'm going to need y'all to do that for me, okay? Because I'm going to need a lot of money, because I don't know if I can miss if Drake and 21 are coming to the 704. I don't know if I can do that. But anyways, he's been at the Apollo past 2 nights. Fantastic concert. Set list looked absolutely insane. A host of celebrities and Instagram models, of course, are in attendance. But yeah, the videos look crazy. I like the setup. I nearly entered into that contest, and now I'm wondering, just maybe I'd have had that once in a million chance to somehow get that, and I would have been in New York this weekend. But nonetheless, I still had a good weekend. But man, oh man, Drake at the Apollo looks so good. The National Football League, all right, the NFL. Okay, it's the Divisional Round. I'm gonna do it chronologically so y'all can get what y'all want as the main event. All right, this is the main event topic, so I know what y'all want as the main event. All right, y'all don't need to tell me. I know what it is. All right, I know what y'all came here for. I know what y'all want me in distress for. So it's going to go last. I'm gonna make you wait for it. Okay, I'm gonna make you wait for it. I'm gonna go chronologically, which means we're gonna start off with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. And you know what? Credit where credit's due. I don't think anybody saw the Jaguars. I thought there would be improvement because Doug Peterson is a much better head coach than Urban Meyer, at least in the NFL. But, I didn't think they would be this competitive. I did not. But you know what? I thought this game was going to be closer than I thought this game was, I feel like the score reflected what I thought the scoreline would end up being. The Chiefs end up squeaking it out 27-20. Patrick Mahomes, 195 yards, 2 touchdowns. But of course, the big story and the big story of this game was Patrick Mahomes' ankle. First quarter, Mahomes was dealing. He was cooking. All right, the man was looking like Mahomes, MVP Mahomes. That's what we were getting. Finally, Jaguars pressure gets to him. I forget who it was. I don't think it was Josh Allen. It might have been Josh Allen. But he fell on Patrick's ankle. It bent in a way that you do not want to see any type of lower limb or extremity bend. Very clearly a high ankle sprain. Unfortunately, Patrick Mahomes got that dog in him. Both quarterbacks in this game did. And said, I'm not coming out of this game. Y'all put me on whatever y'all need to put me on to get this pain to somewhat subdue, because I'm coming back in this game. Though I will say Chad Henne in his 554th season as a backup quarterback in the National Football League held it down for the drive he was in and actually scored. So yeah, shout out to Chad Henne for holding it down. But nonetheless, they were going to need Mahomes to win this game, and you know what? When it mattered, he came back fourth quarter, sealed the game. So yeah, Mahomes, gutsy performance. That high ankle sprain is going to be a problem going into next week. However, with that said, Travis Kelce could not be stopped. The man had 14 receptions. He had 10 at halftime. He only had 98 yards, but he had 2 touchdowns. So yeah, a brace for Kelce, and just he was dominant. Felt like in any type of short yardage, first down, needed situation, that was the guy they went to, as they have all year. And you know what? He was fed accordingly, and he performed accordingly. Isaiah Pacheco, I have to give some credit to Pacheco as well, because he was toting the thing. He was toting it. All right. Didn't put it in the box this week, but the run game was also very important and really getting that Jaguars defense uncomfortable and exploiting some weaknesses, especially early on. Trevor Lawrence, that dog, just has that dog in him. He is the guy. He is who we thought he was. There was no first half against the Titans. Trevor Lawrence to be found in this game. The man was dealing. The only problem was Trevor Lawrence was playing like it was Divisional Round. Unfortunately, his weapons were not fully equipped, or whatever you want to call it. They just weren't there. There was too many drop balls in this game from the Jaguars, too many missed opportunities, and that's ended up what cost them. Even defensively, there was just missed opportunities. Early in that game, after Mahomes gets hurt, Henne dropped back, ball gets deflected in the air. Nobody, of course, calls for it on the Jaguars. Honestly, if you let Tyson Campbell, who was coming right through for it, he catches that, that's probably a pick six. That changes this game. Chiefs might even lose this game in that situation, in that scenario, because this was the drive that Henne drives all the way down the field and scores, instead of, you getting a pick six there. But anyways, Olakon, who had played a solid game, dives to catch the ball, takes it from Campbell, and drops it. And like I said, Chiefs end up going down and scoring. Just missed opportunities. Missed on that massive 60-yard bomb. Kirk dropped that. And then, of course, 27-10, right? You gave up a field goal. Still got a chance because Trev just did a Herculean effort to get the first down here and put you in the red zone. All right? Trucked. I forget who that was, whatever DB. But just one of the gutsiest plays you will see in the playoffs this year, probably. He dumps it off to Agnew. Agnew's just got to, take the yardage or try to, make something happen. Agnew forgets he had the ball, fumbles without even getting hit, gives it over to the Chiefs. That's the end of the game. Just too many missed opportunities for the Jags. However, I think they'll be back. Of course, they get Calvin Ridley next year, and I think that'll be great for Trev, especially with the jump he took this year. Finally looking like the quarterback we expected him to be. But yeah, Jaguars will be back. But you know what? The Chiefs, 5 straight AFC Championship games. They are the class of the league. They are that team that is consistently at the power rankings. They are one of the powerhouses. And Mahomes is probably the defining player of this generation. So credit where credit is due. NFC Divisional Round. Let's talk about that. All right. Talk about 2 of my least favorite teams in the NFL. Of course, that is the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants. Or at least it was supposed to be the Philadelphia Eagles and the New York Giants, because the New York Giants did not show up to play in Philadelphia. In fact, I think they're still in New York. Or they should be in New York. Well, because they didn't really show up to the game. All right, this game was not close from the start. I think they went up 14-0, and I straight up turned the channel. I watched every single divisional game. I did. Even if it was background noise while I ripped my 51st paper of the week. or discussion board. I mean, it was a ridiculous week. Ridiculous week in terms of schoolwork. It was the background noise. I turned away from this game because it was no competition. It was no competition. The Eagles, I mean, it wasn't close. 38-7, murked them. I think they got to, 28-0 at one point in time. Jalen Hurts finishes with 154 and 3 touchdowns. Kenny Gainwell looks like the guy I hyped him up to be once upon a time. 112 yards and a touchdown. Miles Sanders had 90 yards. Hassan Reddick had 5 tackles. Looked like the linebacker. A lot of people thought he would be out of the Temple. And he wasn't at the Cardinals. But the Eagles somehow figured it out. So he had 5 tackles and 1.5 sacks in this game. He was a menace. They had 5 team sacks as a team. There was nobody for me to talk about from the New York Giants. All right? I'm not going to talk about DJ. I'm not going to talk about Saquon. I'm not going to talk about Darius Slayton. Hell, I'm not even going to talk about KT or anybody on their defense because they don't deserve it because they played like absolute garbage. Brian DeBall still should be in the Coach of the Year conversations, but he just it wasn't going. All right, the Eagles were just better. Straight up, start to finish, better. Wasn't close. Was not close. Cincinnati takes on Buffalo. Now, Buffalo. They have always been on that, we've kind of bunched them in with the elite anyway, but they've always been on that cusp of the elite, right? They've been on that edge of being fully considered elite, you know? They've gotten to the AFC Championship, right? Lost twice to the Chiefs, you know? Of course, we had that iconic Stephon Diggs moment, and then they lost last year. You know, they always get almost there, and then they lose. But finally, a little bit more favorable of a matchup, right? You're at home in the snow against the Cincinnati Bengals, right? Surely this is the time y'all step up and y'all get that third crack at KC, and the NFL gets that neutral game that they really, really wanted. That was really stupid, but they really, really wanted that neutral game, of course, for revenue reasons. They finally get that. Y'all get your chance. Unfortunately, y'all are facing, and let's go through the names once again. The King in the North, Joe Snow, Joe Shiesty, Joe Chill, Joey Franchise, Joey Heisman, the King in the North. As I started the nicknames out with, simply put, and in the snow, you know he has to go. Joe Burrow delivers once again, and the Cincinnati Bengals go on the road once again. He's 5-0, by the way, against the AFC, and knock off the Buffalo Bills 27-10. Joey B, would it be 242 and 2 touchdowns? Yeah, masterclass. Not his, most brilliant, dominant game, but he was just, it was him versus Josh Allen, right? Two of the best quarterbacks in the league, two of the best young quarterbacks in the league, quote unquote. And Burrow outplayed him. He outplayed him. All right, Josh Allen goes 25 for 42, 265, 1 pick, one rushing touchdown. But Burrow outplayed him. All right, Burrow outplayed him. That Bengals defense, once again. Say what you want about sometimes during regular season and Eli Apple getting burnt every 2 seconds. But you know what? In the playoffs, they somehow show up and they make it happen. They make it happen. They made it happen once again in the snow. Joe Mixon goes 105 and a touchdown. Chase gets 5 receptions, 61 yards and a touchdown, doing Jamar Chase things. Hayden Hurst also gets 5 receptions, 59 yards and a touchdown himself. So, Stephon Diggs, not too happy with Josh Allen, even though I think it's not too big of a deal, but that was just interesting to note. But yes, the Bills do the Bills thing once again. All right, this is a team that lost, 1, 2, 3, 4 Super Bowls. A lot of it due to my team that we're about to talk about, to the joy of a lot of you. But yeah, this is classic Bills. They're just always on the cusp. But just, always, you're not even the bridesmaid, right? You actually, that's right. You are the bridesmaid. You're just not the maid of honor, right? You're not even in the dance, right? You're not even beside the dance. You're just off the dance, right? You're the first, you're the other bridesmaid that was considered to be the maid of honor, but got edged out. That's what the Buffalo Bills are. That is the best way to describe it. That's the bridesmaid they are, right? They're almost there, almost elite. And that just seems to be the position y'all just seem to sit in. However, Joe Burrow and the Bengals made a statement, in my opinion. They are here. They are not going anywhere. They are not going anywhere. Last year was not a fluke. That was not a fluke. They are here. Joe Burrow meant what he said last week. When he said, in response to the question, what is the Bengals championship window? It's my whole career. As long as they keep that core together and keep a good O-line and, of course, a good defense, they will be contenders. Burrow can lead into that with Chase, Higgins, Boyd, whatever, Mixon, whatever it is. He is the guy. He is that guy. He's going to be around for a while, much to the benefit of all of your wives and girlfriends and every female NFL fan that adores him. I've watched the fan edits, all right? I've seen the fan cams. He's him, all right? Burrow is him. We knew this. Y'all been waiting on this one, all right? San Francisco 49ers beat the Dallas Cowboys, okay? I know y'all been waiting on this one, but you know what? I know y'all expected me to be down. I know y'all expected me to be upset, in pain. But what did I tell y'all all season? Listen, I've been a Cowboys fan all my life, so I'm used to this. I didn't grow up in the 90s, right? So I don't have this inflated, we're America's team, championships, go Troy, go Emmett, go Playmaker. I don't have that inflated sense, right? No, that's for my dad and everybody else, even though he gets it at this point too. All right, I've grown up with 22 years, just about in 2 weeks, of misery. So yes, I am used to this team failing. That is all I know, is the Dallas Cowboys failing. So I'm not surprised when I see us lose to San Francisco 49ers because I picked it twice. In my picks for the play, I picked it twice. That's how confident I was we would lose to the San Francisco 49ers. Even when we were leading this game at points, I was like, we're not going to win this game. We're the Dallas Cowboys. This is what we do. All right, we lose in the divisional round. 5 straight times we have lost in the divisional round. It is what we do. It is nothing more synonymous with the Dallas Cowboys in the 21st century than losing in the divisional round. So I'm sorry to disappoint, but I am not surprised. I'm not even mad. All right, Dak Prescott just was not Dak Prescott this year, and we might need to deal with the realization that this is just who Dak is now. All right, he played like a worse Josh Allen, and I'm gonna be completely honest with you. 2 picks. He had way too many turnovers this year. I don't know if it's because it was the first season back from the injury. I don't know what it is, but I'm kind of tired of making excuses for him. He has to play better next year. The defense can't even really fault him in this game. They only gave up 19 points. But the offense could do absolutely nothing. Now I get it. 49ers defense is incredible. It's incredible. It's great. Fred Warner, Bosa, all of them. But we got to play better. We got to play better all. Listen, I'm fine with, at this point, I am fine with Kellen Moore taking a head coaching job if that's what he wants to do somewhere else. I'm fine with it. I'm over it. All right, I'm over it. Zeke, that was a dumb play run on his last. He probably plays as a Dallas Cowboy, even though I'm fine with Pollard going forward, even though I think we'll probably need to get another running back to still run that tandem. I mean, CeeDee Lamb was the only player of note for us, 10 receptions, 117, so shout out to CeeDee. But otherwise, this game traded 6 field goals. And yeah, just overall was not that, it wasn't that great. It really wasn't that great in terms of like a neutral viewing. Except for everybody that hates the Cowboys, then it was probably great, especially that 4th quarter. But yeah, just nothing but pain and disappointment. I am used to it, so I'm not that upset, to be completely honest, because it's what I expected. It's what I told you all year, and it's what we all saw coming, if we're being honest with ourselves. The Dallas Cowboys once again fall in the divisional round. Classic us. 49ers are one of my Super Bowl picks, so I'm perfectly fine with it. Now, with that said, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the Roundup. And of course, HBCU football, we need to do better. HBCUs, we really, really do. Ed Reed is out as Bethune-Cookman head coach because they can't get it right. All right, it's so corrupt, it's ridiculous. All right, that whole system is just messed up in terms of funding and just you want the notoriety, you want society to put pressure on black athletes to go play for HBCUs, but will not provide the adequate facilities for them to succeed and for these coaches to succeed that want to help bring notoriety. It would have done great things for your university to have Ed Reed as your head coach, but you fumbled it, and I honestly have no sympathy. Just do better. That's all I can really say. NBA, Joel Embiid is averaging 33 points a game, and James Harden is just also averaging 11.2 assists a game. The Sixers are acting up, specifically Embiid and Harden. That duo has just been way better. They should have got rid of Simmons before that, it seems, because they've just been better. It's a better fit. But yeah, Embiid playing, balling out of control. He needs to be in some MVP conversations with the way he's playing. One of the best centers, of course, and one of just the best players in the world. James Harden is still James Harden. He will go down as one of the greatest offensive players to ever play this game. College basketball is still chaotic. Plenty of upsets, but I want to talk about the fact that Houston lost. Another number one team loses. Now, Houston's look like the class of everybody really this season, but even they can get clipped because it's going to be a very, very chaotic coming months in college basketball. The tournament's going to be a bloodbath. Lord knows who's winning the national championship. But yeah, Houston get clipped by Temple in the waning moments. Damian Dunn finishes with 16. And in the Australian Open, Iga Swiatek lost yesterday. So that means that both 1-2 seeds on the men's and women's side have lost, which is crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, very interesting. I think Novak's honestly going to take it on the men's side. I have no idea who's going to win the women's side. Also got to give a shout out to Ben Shelton. You may know him for being, reigning defending national champion from Florida. He also is boyfriend to the great Anna Hall, one of the best young athletes, I think, in the world, in my opinion. Certainly one of the best young athletes on the planet. But yeah, he entered the quarters, first American man, and since Andy Roddick, to be under 21 and make the quarters. So yeah, cool stuff. Cool to see Ben succeeding. And yeah, Aussie Open, we'll talk about the finishing stages next week on episode 130. My goodness. But yeah, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, it's not going to be too long of an episode. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, see you next week. Ocho, signing off.